Hi, welcome to 10X Glam here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping in. And if you're coming back, I sure appreciate you. I'm in a huge rush this morning, but I'm getting ready for work, and I was going to talk a little bit about a comment that one of the subscribers made about skincare and like, oh, what's your skincare routine? Which I think I have shared before, but I can only tell you what has worked for me like over the years and what I currently do now. I'm going in and I pulled out a few different things to use today to get ready for work, although I don't know how much time I'm gonna have on camera to get ready. We might not get that far depending on how well I can multitask this morning. Was the youth water I was mentioning in another video by GUERLAIN. It makes my face feel so smooth and just like this really nice glow. I really like it. It's supposed to drink up everything that goes on top of it. Now, getting back to skincare, you don't have to have a youth water phase. In my opinion, you just need to have a routine. And preferably from, from when you were responsible enough to know to wash your own face, or a little bit past that point, right? Because even when kids know, like, oh, they got to wash their hands and their face and all that stuff, they're still like, they don't prioritize it, right? And so the moms and the dads have to sort of step in and be like, okay, let's do this. They have to teach them, right? Socialize them on that particular hygiene habit. But basically, you just need a routine. You need to wash your face twice a day, before you go to bed, when you wake up, and moisturize if you can, and you don't need to use a Charlotte Tilbury or Shiseido or Shiwasu or a Rose or any of these other Sephora brand skincares out there. For the longest time growing up, I used when I was young, I would use like Pond's because my mom and my grandma used it. I learned from my grandmother about the routine. She had a religious routine. She did it for, I don't know, like 60 years. The same routine every night with the face wash and the moisturizer. And she just would usually use a trusted brand for many, many, many years, Pond's, because they discontinued a brand. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to ask my mom, and I'll mention it in another video because maybe one of you or your moms know this old school brand. But anyway, she just stuck to her routine really up until the end. And when she passed away in her mid-90s, her skin looked fantastic. So I just knew that, I wanted to be like grandma, right? I wanted to have this special ritual that she treated herself to, despite, she was widowed, kind of young. And so she had a lot of pressure, right? Back in the day, not having to join the workforce, after not having joined the workforce and already like sort of struggling, socioeconomic situation, and still like, she had 50 years left to live, and she knew she needed a plan. So it's not like she had easy street life, right? She was stressed, but she always treated herself to her skin rituals. And I will tell you what else grandma also did for me in terms of my skin growing up. And I'm not saying like I wasn't one of these kids that was like a latchkey kid and got to go to grandma's like after school all the time. I mean, it wasn't like that because she was working, she was a widowed, working, middle-aged woman with friends and her own life, which was very inspiring. But yeah, so it's not like, this stuff was beaten in my head all the time. I just had situational awareness. I knew grandma had a routine. I knew mom had a routine. And I grew up thinking, I gotta have a routine too, And for me as a kid, when I was a young kid, I used to really like to, I've got all my, that was all Charlotte Tilbury serum, magic serum, and moisturizer. I'm going to use the Tower 28 sunscreen, tinted sunscreen today, so y'all can see that. If you watched the other video recently where I demoed the Dermatology and the new Kosas. And so far, of the three, I'm still a fan of Dermatology, but I'll go ahead and blend that out. But as a kid, we always had Dove in the house. Again, like just quality brands that you can trust from the, from the market. Anyway, I used to take that bar of Dove and foam it up and make like a pile of foam in my hand, you know, so I get it wet, and it's just like all this fine motor skill action to get the foam off the bar until I had a critical mass of it, and then I would, you know, I would play with it, and I thought that that was fun, you know, a way to pass the time in the bath. Now, I'm not saying all kids are like that, and now they have, you know, whatever, all kinds of bath stuff for kids these days to keep them engaged and occupied, and products that, you know, don't, if they get in their eye, they aren't going to sting and all this different stuff. So, going back to my point, you just have to have a routine, and you have to carve out time for yourself no matter what's going on. Now, I had 2 children, and believe me, I had postpartum issues like every woman does. And if you're a new mother out there, do not take pause about the journey ahead, okay? It's just obviously, you know, if you're growing a human inside of you, your body is going to change. It is inevitable. Something is going to change, or maybe something, and, you know, not necessarily physical will change. It might be something more on the mental front. And although I had a lot of postpartum issues, my skin wasn't one of them. So I can't speak from experience here. I can only tell you, you know, wash your face a couple of times a day. If you see flare-ups, going back in with this lovely Too Faced creamy bronzer, if you see flare-ups, treat them, you know, and it doesn't have to be some fancy, you know, brand of acne treatment. But if you feel like, you know, it's something more than you've ever seen, and it's something unique that you never had before, you know, going through the pregnancy journey, just go see a dermatologist or mention it to your OB, you know, at a checkup, and then they can refer you. Okay, so like, see something, say something. You know your body the best. So if something really strange is going on with your skin postpartum, like I say, you know yourself the best. You just go and get it checked out. Don't ignore it. Don't think I don't have time. This goes back to prioritizing yourself, okay, and your routine, because it's important to you. I gotta get going because we gotta rotate another set of tires. And this is a tiny little Rare Beauty. I don't know if it's the shade Hope. I like her liquid blushes. I was gonna say, and again, new mothers who are joining the journey, or you're thinking of joining the journey, by no means am I trying to be a naysayer here, because being a mom is one of the coolest things that's ever going to happen. But with all cool things that happen to us, there's also sacrifice involved. This is from e.l.f. I can use this on my lips too. It's like their multicolor pen for cheek and lip. As I was saying, new moms and moms out there, if you haven't figured it out yet, best thing ever, growing a human inside of you, and that responsibility, even better if you have a partner, because I know there's moms out there that don't have a partner, and I see you and I get you, because I was one of those moms for a very long time, raising my kiddos on my own, working full time, and all of that stress, you know, sort of deadbeat situation going on. So I get it. But it doesn't matter if you've got a partner, if you don't have a partner, you're a mom, you're sacrificing, and something happens to you, in the sense that because you're making such great sacrifices for your family, you might feel a part of you starts eroding, okay? Just kind of like, or you put it to the side, right? Well, you prioritize other things. But you don't have to do that. And I did that, please. I did that for a very long time, probably until the kids were like 5 and 7. And then I woke up and I was like, I had a great time. I saw a lot of cool playgrounds. We went to water parks. I felt like a kid again. Like, all I did was home to work, took care of those kids. And I didn't do a whole lot. Oh, I always played tennis. I always managed to find a way. That was like my one savior. But it's like a little bit of erosion, like a self-erosion. And at some point you realize it's happened, or it's happening. And I call it the taking back reaction. like I was like, I gotta take some stuff back. I part of me kind of wrote it away. It's not completely gone. I'm gonna start taking it back. So that's when I'd be like, I'd go out and I'd do something, like somebody would be like, hey, you want to go out after blah 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 and do this? I'd be like, oh, let me get a babysitter. I'll go out. So I was like taking back that like part of my, you know, social life that for years was gone. So don't let that happen with your skin. All right. Don't get to the point. This is LYS. Don't get to the point. Holy cow! Look at that. Do not get to the point where you're taking back things related to your health. You know, prioritize things in your life, especially related to your personal health, that like make you happy, right? Just take the time to do it. And getting back to my whole point, that goes very much the same with skincare. You just have to prioritize it. You have to have a routine. And again, it doesn't matter how fancy it is. You need to wash your face a couple of days. If you want to do some sort of acne treatment or other face treatment, a serum, a toner, or whatever, and get some moisturizer on your face in the morning, especially if you're putting on makeup, and at night after you wash your face. And that's honestly all you really need to do. And I mean, that's all that, I mean, I have no keys to the kingdom here other than I did grow up with a couple generations of women who I saw had this routine. I saw that they prioritized the time despite being busy and stressed out women. And so then I was just like, I did it too. And I tried and I maintained that because eventually kids go to sleep. They have to fall asleep. And that's when, you know, you can play around at your safe place. Even when I had the kids, and I never could have had this glam station when I had small kids. One of my doctors told me, one of the kids' doctors told me, because my kids were a handful, they were tough, still are. One of their doctors told me, like, give yourself a break room. If you know the kids are safe, you just tell them, Mom needs to go on break. Right? And so I did. So each house I've ever lived in, there's always been a safe room. So I guess for me, for my time out, so I could just be like, please, Calgon, take me away. Well, most of the time it was the kitchen. But, and so now I guess they're all grown up. Everybody's on their own program. And I get my glam station. It's a win. It's a win. So just take care of yourself. Prioritize yourself. If you feel yourself starting to erode and you're like, don't let yourself pass the point of no return, which doesn't exist, right? You can always turn something around if you make an effort. I don't know, that's my 2 cents. I don't know if I answered your question, but I appreciate the comments. I really do. We're gonna bust into this super quick. This is the new P. Louise quad palette that I got with the March subscription. Let's take the powder blush, even though I did use the oh gosh, that's kind of orange, wasn't it? Did that look like it went up? No, you know, it's not orange. It's corally. That's okay. That's all right. It's a little bit coral. I was going in the Rose family. This Fit Me blush was one that I got at the pop-up makeup sale. Let's just take her, let's just take a pop of highlight, and then I got a scoot. But wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I'm going to go in the bottom corner. It looks kind of pinkish. I hope you are well. I'm super excited. Later today, I get to have my roots touched up. So take, ooh, that's nice. Oops. So take a look. And next time I post, hopefully I'll be looking a little bit more, less rough around the edges there in the root department. I hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you in the next video. Take care.